Hello, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the channel, and hi if this is your first time seeing my face. My name's Sophie and I'm a very honest creator. I will share my life and tell you the ins and outs and the good, the bad and the ugly. And unfortunately today is going to be one of the ugly and the bad. So, should we dive straight into it? So, as you're probably seeing from the title, this video is not exactly going to be the light-hearted of videos. It's very hard for me to sit here and talk about it and not cry, but we're going to be good, we're going to be fine. So if you see a few red eyes, a few tears, just ignore it. Didn't happen. If I don't mention it, it doesn't exist, okay? Right, so where do we start? We're going to start at the beginning because I feel like last time when I had the surgery, I very quickly brushed over it. I didn't really sit down and talk about the timeline of stuff, X, Y, Z. And now that I've had time to process it, I know what I want to talk about. And the unfortunate thing is that it's come back. So we'll talk about that as well. Let me just get my timeline up because I've actually gone back and I want to talk about the actual timeline of everything. Oh, also, before we dive in as well, I just want to put a little disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a medical professional. I don't know anything about medicine, medical stuff. I can mispronounce words, I might say the wrong word, I might use the wrong terminology. Just bear with me, okay? Because this is a very hard topic to talk about. And I want to open up about it because nobody does. There is not enough information on the internet from girls, women, people with cervix that talk about it and like give you their first-hand impression. If you Google what a colposcopy is or what the LEETZ procedure is, you are going to have a mental breakdown because I did. It's terrifying what they tell you. Don't get me wrong, it's still scary, but it's a lot nicer when you can hear it from somebody. A little bit about me, my name's Sophie, I'm from the UK, I recently turned 30 and this all started when I was 28. So, back to the beginning. Let's go back in time. Let's start there and then we'll just work up until today. I had never had a smear test in my life until 2022. And where I'm from the UK, you can have a smear test from when you're 25. They give them out on the NHS. Go get it. Girls, please, for the love of Jesus Christ, go get it. I moved to Dubai when I was 21 and I just never did. I never went for it. I got my reminders. The UK was sending reminders to my mum at home to go get it done. I never did. I just put it to the back of my mind. I was like, never gonna happen to me. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. I feel great. Then it comes to December of 2022. I'm 28 at this point, and I have a annual leave. I have 10 days off, so I go home. My mum, out of all the people, has booked my appointment without me knowing to go to get a smear test, a pap test, whatever you call it where you're from. So I was like, okay, it's booked, I'll go. So I went for my test. I'm just looking at my cheat sheet, my calendar with all the information on. I went for my first ever smear test, pap test, on the 17th of December, 2022. I'm going to leave the date in because it gives you like a timeline of how things work. So after my leave, I came back to Dubai, I carried on with my life, and the test came back very abnormal. So they wanted to do more tests. However, I was in Dubai at this point, I couldn't get home, so then I shifted everything to do with my health to Dubai, which is where I live full time. And I found a hospital in Dubai that I was very comfortable going to, and a doctor that I love. So then my first appointment in Dubai was on the 23rd of January. This is 2023 now, and I've turned 29. My birthday was in between those 2 days. I feel like the age is like quite important because it's offered to you when you're younger, but I just chose not to do it. Just saying as well, because I had to shift everything to basically a different country, I had to do the original pap smear test again. So I did that again in Dubai, even though they had the results saying there was severe abnormality going on. They had to do it here just so they had a full record of it, using those results as well. But as we would suggest, the test in Dubai came back with the same results, very abnormal. So then it was, I think 2 weeks after, I went in for my first colposcopy. If you get told you need to go get one, don't look it up. For the love of life, don't do it. I did it and I wish I never. Whatever the doctor needs to do down there, inside, outside, let them do it, okay? It's fine, you're gonna be okay. So I did my colposcopy. The doctor that I go to is amazing. She's from the UK, she's from pretty close to where I'm from, so it kind of feels a little homey. But between all this, she's told me the procedure I've got, I think it was SIN 3, I think that's what it's called, so the one just before it turned into the C word that nobody ever wants. And because I'd never had a test before, they don't know how long I'd had it, so they wanted to do it quite fast so that it didn't turn. I just didn't, at the time then, like back then, I didn't process how serious it was. Don't get me wrong, like I know it was serious, but it just never clicked. And then I did the colposcopy. It's painful, but it's not an us girls can't handle, okay? We can handle it, we're fine. But after the colposcopy, I had to obviously wait for my results, and it was about 4 weeks after. So I had the LEETZ procedure done on the 13th of April. Another little side note that I want to add in, I have to try and work this around my flying schedule, my job. If you're new around here, I am a flight attendant, so my schedule is all over the place. And obviously trying to match that up with the doctor is pretty impossible, which is why there was 4 weeks in between the colposcopy and the LEETZ procedure. So anyway, let's go back to the procedure. 2 days before the procedure, I went in to get a pre-surgery checkup. They do your blood pressure, they check your vitals, ask you a few questions, tell you a lot of information. It was only then, and that was on the 11th of April, that it hit me. Because that's when I realised what was actually going on. Because after I started researching of like the colposcopy, I was like, do you know what, Sophie, stay away from it. Just listen to what the doctor says, go and do what she says, go to your appointments, it'll be fine. You're in safe hands. When I went for my pre-checkup, the doctor who was doing my pre-checkup, it was a different doctor. He told me some stuff. Some of the things he said was I was not allowed to be left alone after the surgery for 48 hours, which terrified me because I'm in a country on my own and all my friends are crew, and the day of my surgery, no one I knew was in Dubai, which terrified me. The surgery was gonna be taking quite a, I want to say large portion. It's not a large portion considering like it's a small portion, but it was quite a bit of the cervix away. So I left that appointment in balls of tears, but I was quite good. I didn't cry until I got in the taxi, okay? I was good. And I got home. I didn't even get home. I rang my mum in the car, crying like a baby, hyperventilating because I have a surgery in 2 days that I'm not prepared for. I just didn't realise the importantness or like the severity of it. I hope this is making sense because to me this is kind of hard to talk about. So if you watch the video of when I do mention that I had a surgery, you will know my sister flew out as a surprise visit, last minute, blah, blah, blah. No, it was because I needed someone with me. I couldn't be left alone in case something had happened after the surgery or XYZ. You have surgery and there's stuff going through your system, you need somebody with you. So that's why my sister came over. So the day of the surgery, you cannot drink, I think it was 6 hours or 12 hours, I'm not quite sure. I'll give you all this information again after this section if I have to do the surgery. You can't eat or drink before the surgery. You get given some stuff to clean yourself with at home. You have to do it twice before you go. The hospital that I went to was an amazing place and I'm hoping if I have to do it again, it will be the same hospital. The surgery went well. My last surgery went well. They removed what they needed to remove. The doctor was very happy with it. There was a lot of information told to me, but the one thing that I remember, and this is the one thing that's kicked me now, is that she said, if it unfortunately happens again and I have to have the surgery, they have to take more of your cervix away. That can then affect you later on in life when it comes to having children. Which at the time I didn't really take that serious, because I was like, oh, it's fine, like I've done it now, it's not going to come back, they've removed all the cells, I'm going to be back to normal, it's going to be okay. The recovery was painful, as you would imagine. It's not nice. And then my sister stayed for a bit. She was amazing. She's like my little home nurse, looking after me, cooking, cleaning, amazing. Got me out of bed, XYZ. Then it slowly went back to normal. I was going to work, I was feeling fine. My periods were very abnormal, but that was expected. I had to go for a checkup about 6 months later, which I delayed because I didn't want to know. So I think overall, I think it was about 8 months between the day of my post-surgery checkup to the day I went to get my follow-up smear test. Went to the same doctor, it was fine, we were chatting, loving life. She was like, any problems? I was like, no, back to normal, body's functioning fine. Let's do this, let's get me cleared. She does the test, whatnot. So then it was 2 weeks later to the day. I had my follow-up appointment and smear test on the 7th of December 2023, and I got the phone call on the 21st of December 2023 to say it was back. And yeah. Do you know what the weird thing was as well, right? This video is obviously not very informational, this is just my experience. If you've watched my videos, you know I was recently doing an upgrade in work. I was moving up to first class, and this was the week of my training and my exams. I answered the call on that Thursday morning, no, afternoon it was, 20 minutes before my final exam, to know if I would pass or fail my training. So I got this call from the doctor, and she says, it's back, we're gonna have to do another colposcopy and possibly the surgery again. And I broke down. Fully broke down. Oh my God, come on, stop crying. It's fine. When I was in training, they were fine, they were fine with it. One of the trainers was amazing. She sat me down, she took me out of the class for 3 hours, because I couldn't concentrate. How can you concentrate? The only thing that kept going through my mind is what she originally said is, if you have to have the surgery again, it's gonna possibly affect you. And I just seen my life end. I was like, that's it, it's done, it's over, I'm never gonna have kids, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I calmed myself down, and if you already know, I passed my training. I passed with flying colours. I did only have one breakdown in the exam. I cried once, let it out, and then I came back in and I was fine. And the trainers were very understanding, obviously, about that situation, because I told them, they knew what was going on. I didn't tell the class what was going on, so they just see me crying for no reason, but I'm fine with that, it's okay. So obviously I found this out on the 22nd of December, which is how many days before Christmas? Exactly. So it was Christmas, then it was New Year, and then it's January. My doctor had some time off. I then had time off for my birthday. I had close to 20 days off and I was leaving the country. I had obviously spoke to my mum and dad about it, cried multiple times, and it was contemplated that we would cancel our holiday for my birthday and I'd stay in Dubai and I'd get it all sorted because I'd have the time off. And it was probably selfish of me, and I hope it doesn't backfire in my face, but I decided not to do that. I decided I want to go and enjoy myself. It's something that I'd look forward to for months and months, and I didn't want to spend my birthday, my 30th birthday, recovering from a surgery or sat here worrying about something that I actually have no control over. It's just what your body wants to do. So now we're up to today. Today is the 29th of January 2024, and I have to go and get a colposcopy today. yeah, my appointment's in like 2.5 hours. I'm not going on my own. One of my friends is going to take me because I can't stop crying. Why did I put makeup on to do this video? I'd love to know. Yeah, well, let me go get another tissue. Where was I up to? We're up to today. I'm not going on my own. I am going with a friend. She is luckily enough off so that I have some moral support. And I don't have to sit in the taxi on my own, going through my own thoughts. There's a few things I want to add in as well. I know this is going to be such a long video, but I'm doing this for like other people that are interested, and I also want to document it. My worst trait is I don't talk. And that sounds so stupid considering I have a YouTube channel and I sit here just talking. But I don't talk to people. And I find this is helping me by talking because I'm getting out and I'll process it. There was a few touch points as well that I wanted to talk about. I'm not sitting here doing this for sympathy. I know it looks like it right now because I'm crying, but I'm not. And if you watch my original video when I originally talked about my first surgery that I had, I just want people to go and get checked. How do I explain it? If I had just listened to myself and never went, it probably would have turned into the inevitable, the big C word, because it was going there. That's what they removed. It wasn't, but it was on the border of flipping. So, yeah. And if it wasn't for my mum nagging me, and I mean nagging, and if you don't know what nagging means, it means constantly persisting and persisting and persisting to go get the test. And then I still never did it. She booked it. My mother booked me at the age back then of 28 a doctor's appointment. Come on, girls, we can do better than this. I can do better than this. If there's anyone I need to thank, it's my mum, really, because she booked my original test. A test that is where I'm from, back in the UK. The UK in general is free, girls, women. Whatever you want to be called right now, I don't really care. If you have a cervix, go. You can get a test. If you have to pay for it, it's your health. Pay for it. I know it's a lot easier said than done when you have money and like money's tight, but it's your health. If you don't have a life, if you don't have your health, you don't have a life. You will not be here. And I know that's a bit dark and scary to say, but it's true. So, yeah, I know that was a very, very long story, and the story is not over because, yeah, we're gonna go today. From my understanding, if you're interested in what a colposcopy is, I hope I'm saying that right because I have never been able to say that right, is they go, if you don't want some graphic information, I suggest you maybe skip this part. They go inside your vagina, I'm gonna say the word, to look at your cervix. They'll put a camera in there, they'll look at it, and if they need to, they'll take a biopsy, which is what they did last time. Take pictures and they'll put like acids on it so it stings like a bitch. That's what I'm gonna get done today, and then I'm gonna come home and do absolutely nothing apart from sit on the sofa with a hot water bottle because it's probably worse than a period, the pain. It's nothing we can't handle. And then after that, I will keep you posted on what happens. I really hope this video is something. If it's nothing for you, then it's something for me. Because I really wish I'd documented it last time. Just to talk about it, to remember it, because there's some things that slip your mind, and like the surgery and stuff, but if the inevitable happens and we do the surgery again, then you're probably gonna come with me. And if you never see this video, then it's just a little video for me to keep. So it's a few days later since the last clip you would have seen, and I think it's time to give you a little bit of an update. It's kind of a good update, kind of, yeah, we're going with a good update. So I went for my appointment, I got the colposcopy done. She's seen the cells, she did everything she needed to do, she did the acids and all that horrible stuff, and she's not going to do anything as of yet. She doesn't want to operate yet just because of the the repercussions that might come after. There's no point as of right now. If it's going to stay the way it is, then we'll just deal with it that way. Operating is going to be the last resort again. So we're just going to keep an eye on it, keep going for my checkups, and hopefully it will either just stay the way it is and no surgery is going to be needed, or if it develops, then we'll move on in the future to whatever is needed. I've kind of watched the footage back that you would have just seen, and it was very hard to watch, so there's a few things I want to add on to what I originally said. The main reason that I want to talk about it and I share about it and I put it on my Instagram and I put it on YouTube is because it's not talked about enough. And women's health is seen as such like a taboo thing. You're not allowed to talk about it. You can't talk about what happens naturally every month because it's taboo. And I hate that, because when I was going through it last year, say, there was no information. Like, nobody posted about it on YouTube, nobody posted about it in forums. It was all just like Wikipedia and what Google said, and that was terrifying. And there is nothing to be ashamed of if you're going through it, if you know someone that's going through it, if you're scared to go get a test. That's fine, everyone's scared, and it doesn't hurt. Like I say, everything right, how do I say this? The initial test does not hurt. The scariest part is actually like booking the appointment. The actual appointment is so easy. It doesn't hurt. And that's the worst thing, is that there's all this stigma around that your pap test or your pap test or smear test, whatever you call it, is gonna hurt and it's gonna cause so much pain and you're gonna be out for a few days. No. It's like getting a cotton bud that you clean your ears with or whatever. It's just a longer version of that they swab. That's it. That's all they do. It's the stuff that comes after, unfortunately, what I had to go through. That is the painful part. And then there was also, I posted it on my Instagram story today, so it's been a fair few days since I filmed the last bit. Again, I'm not posting about it or talking about it for sympathy. I said this in the last time I talked about it. It's not for sympathy, it's just to get awareness out there. And if I can be the little poster girl or the girl that's like shouting from the rooftops to go get a test, then I've done my job. Because last time I spoke about it in the initial video, when I briefly mentioned it, so many girls messaged me saying that they went for the test or they booked the test or they know someone who's done it from hearing what's happened. To me, that means I did my job. I spoke about it. I could have changed one person's life. I could have changed nobody's life. But I know in my heart of hearts, that little ice cold heart in there, I did something for someone. And if that means I have to be very open and vulnerable about my health, then that's what I'm going to do. I built a platform that I can have the opportunity to talk about it. So I'm going to. So I think for now my story is on hold. If I post all of this, then please be kind. Any negative comments will be thrown out the back door. If I can say one last thing, it would be go and book your test. There was one other thing that I wanted to mention, and it was to do with like the lifestyle change that I did. If you've been around here for a while, you'd know that I underwent like a big lifestyle change. Like, I started looking after myself, going to the gym, looking after my skin, eating healthy, just general well-being of myself. And 90% of it was because of the surgery and what got told to me of like, you have to look after yourself from the inside out and go to the gym, make sure you're healthy, just general life stuff, because I know I was treating my body disgusting. If you've been around here, you know I was not the best person to my body. When it came back, or never left, whichever way you want to look at it, it was kind of a kick in the teeth, because I'd made this big life change to help prevent it from coming back. And it did. It's been really hard now to try and get myself back into the healthiest place that I want to be. And again, I didn't change my lifestyle for anything in particular. It was just myself. I know myself, even before finding out everything, I was not a healthy person. I wasn't looking after myself. So it was kind of hard to hear that after all these changes that I'd done to make myself a better human being, look after my body from the inside as I was told to do, it still just didn't want to cooperate with me. So right now it's kind of hard to like get myself back into it, but I'm slowly getting there. As you can tell, I'm very rough right now. I've just got back from the gym and I thought I'd just put my last 2 cents into this video because I kind of want to edit it and post it. We'll see, because it's a very raw and emotional video and I don't know how people will take it. It's kind of hard to gauge the internet at times, and posting something so vulnerable can open you up to a world that you don't really want to be invited into. I think that is going to be it for this part of the video. My next checkups, and from there on I will film it, tape it, post about it. If you're bored of me talking about it, I'm not sorry, not in the slightest. I am a woman, I'm a very proud woman, and I will talk about women's health because it is not talked about enough, especially from younger people. I say younger. Yeah, I'm young. I'm allowed to be young. I'm 30. I'm going to leave this video here. I can't say I hope you've enjoyed. It was full of emotion. So either way, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like. A lot of my videos are a lot more lighthearted than this, don't worry. And I will see you soon. Hopefully when it's all cleared up and gone and never coming back.
Satisfying you